The heart of the issue is this: how can someone who commits one of California's most heinous crimes be considered for parole? We need judges who understand the real-world risks of violent criminals walking free. If you agree, tap that like button. I turned to Judge Bulsara about a Jan DJ Sports Products case he ruled on as magistrate judge. A federal district court reversed him, saying he ignored a large collection of cases. I asked, "Did you just disagree with an entire line of precedent?" Bulsara insisted he'd never ignore authority, but the district judge disagreed.
Thank you, Senator Butler. Senator Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Coggins, you used to work for Governor Jerry Brown,
That is correct, Senator.
and I believe you advised him on issues regarding parole.
As the governor under the California Constitution, when the parole board recommends that a inmate be paroled, that matter then comes before the governor to determine whether he's going to reverse that recommendation.
Did you advise him on parole?
I was not advising him. What I provided was a background, all background information. So the nature and circumstances of the particular case that was before us. I was looking at the correctional file. In addition, I was
Do you
reviewing.
remember a parolee named James Schenfeld?
I don't, Senator.
Okay. You talked a lot about, as did you all appropriately, about juveniles in your testimony. Governor Brown in 2015 paroled Mr. James Schenfeld. He was convicted of kidnapping 26 kids, juveniles, and burying them alive. Were you with Governor Brown then? Judge?
I left in 2015, so I'm unsure of the time period in which that occurred.
This happened in 2015.
That name is not familiar to me. What I can say is those decisions
Do you
are.
remember the case?
I do not.
Okay. When it happened, it got a lot of publicity in California. Did you call Judge Brown or Governor Brown and say, "Governor, I love you, but what planet did you just parachute in from? How have you done this?"
I did not.
Do you agree with this decision?
I would need to look at the file. I don't know the context. I don't know the background, the insight. And the decision that Governor Brown would make is whether the parolee poses an unreasonable risk to the safety of the community.
I pressed harder. Why did you ignore the line of cases? At least explain why you found one line more persuasive. But a higher court disagreed. If nominees can't explain, how can we trust their judgment? That's why questioning nominees protects the rule of law.
And
Do you think kidnapping 26 juveniles and burying them alive presents a risk to the community?
I certainly believe that if that individual is convicted of those crimes, which it sounds like he was,
yeah.
he would be a risk to the community.
But you don't have an opinion about whether Governor Brown did the right thing?
Again, Senator, I would have to be able to look at the complete file and all of the considerations required of the governor, who ultimately makes the decision.
So he might have done the right thing, in your opinion?
I would want to look at the complete file in order to make an assessment.
Today was about more than two nominees. It was about accountability. When judges fail to apply precedent, Americans pay the price. The stakes are high. That's why tough questions matter. Senator Kennedy's questioning of Judges Coggins and Bulsara exposed troubling gaps in judgment and accountability. Our courts must protect the American people. Nominees need courage and clarity to do the job. Subscribe for more unfiltered truth from Capitol conservatives. The fight for America's future continues.
All right, Judge Bulsara. Do you remember a case called J&J Sports Products v., if I mispronounce it, sir, please correct me, Ferraris?
I do recall that case, Senator, yes.
Okay, it was pretty recent, 2020. You're a magistrate judge, right?
I am.
And your decisions have to be reviewed by a federal district court judge?
That's correct.
Okay. You made a ruling in that case, and the district court reversed you.
In part, yes.
And the district court said, quote, these are the judge's words, not mine, that you ignored, quote, a large collection of cases in this district holding that essentially identical allegations are sufficient to state a claim. So your boss said you just ignored a whole line of cases. What's going on here?
Well, Senator Kennedy, the way I recall that case was there's a split in authority about claims that can be brought under the Copyright Act. And there were, in addition to the cases that the district judge cited, there was a whole bevy of other cases going in the other direction, and the Court of Appeals had not ruled on it.
Yeah.
And
But the judge didn't say you looked at both line of cases and decided one was more accurate than the other. He said you totally ignored a line of cases. Did you just disagree with those line of cases?
Senator, I would never ignore a whole line of cases, and I know that was a very lengthy opinion that I issued, and it's my practice in the 1,000 opinions.
I'm going to run out of time. I'm sorry to cut you off, Judge. I don't mean any disrespect. The district court judge says you ignored those cases.
I would respectfully say, as I don't...
Was he wrong?
I'm not going to call a colleague wrong, but I can say that in every case where I write a lengthy opinion, I read all of the applicable authorities, and I know in that particular situation there's a line of other cases that I have read, and I did so in all of my decisions, and I can expect that I did so in that one as well.
But why did you ignore the line of cases is my point. I can understand you saying, well, there are two line of cases and they conflict, and I find the reasoning more persuasive in this line. The district judge reversed you, said you just totally ignored them. That worries me.
He reversed me only in part, Senator, and in those line of cases, I think there's a split of authority at the district court level. There's no governing Court of Appeals decision or a U.S. Supreme Court decision, which my oath requires me to follow.
Thank you, folks.
Today, in the Senate Judiciary Committee, Senator John Kennedy turned up the heat. He grilled two judicial nominees, Judge Coggins and Judge Bulsara, on controversial decisions. The exchange was tense, direct, and unforgettable. Don't forget to subscribe for more from Capitol Conservatives. I asked Judge Coggins about a chilling case. In 2015, Governor Jerry Brown paroled James Schenfeld, convicted of kidnapping 26 children and burying them alive. This crime shocked the nation. Coggins admitted he didn't remember the case or the timing and hadn't called Governor Brown to ask why. Even then, he refused to give a direct judgment on the parole decision. A shocking exchange, and a window into judicial disconnect.